Welcome to Author's Corner, a creative writing group of students in the Mathematics and Science Academy at UTRGV. My name is Amy Frazier, a senior lecturer in the Department of Writing and Language Studies, who launched this program since the spring semester 2020 under the leadership of Dr. Wilma Garza, principal of MSA. After studying creative writing in Oxford, I wrote and published a novelette entitled Brujeria in South Texas, currently released in over 25 countries. Author's Corner represents a dynamic group of MSA students driven with a passion to author intriguing stories. Currently in our 7th consecutive semester, MSA students continue to produce entertaining short stories and fiction published in the Writer newspaper at UTRGV. We are delighted to continue as participants in Vaquero Radio. Thank you for this opportunity. We hope you enjoy hearing today's oral presentation. The spotlight shines on one of our talented students as Writing Warrior of the Week and Author's Corner.
Work-Life Balance, written and narrated by Mario Alliey. Joseph was driving home one night after a long day of work. He let out a heavy sigh as he remembered that he would come home to an angry wife. After having grown up poor, Joseph wanted nothing more than to ensure financial stability for him and his family. He started a business a few years ago, and due to his hard work, it became very successful. However, Joseph's inordinate commitment to the business was costing him precious time away from his family. In fact, that morning, Joseph's wife Anna had screamed at him for refusing to reduce his hours so his children could have a father in their lives. While ruminating on all this, Joseph mindlessly carried out a right turn, and he was so lost in his thoughts that he did not even hear the oncoming horn to his left. Joseph passed out on impact. When Joseph woke up, his eyes struggled to adjust to the surprisingly bright blue sky. Confusion was the first thing he felt when he realized he had been sleeping on the sidewalk of a busy street. Many pairs of shoes appeared to be stepping through him as if he did not even exist. "There's a person down here, you know," Joseph yelled angrily, yet nobody reacted to him. Joseph looked at his body and realized that everyone was passing right through him. Even more surprising was what he overheard from a familiar-looking couple. "I heard Joseph got in a bad wreck last night." "Oh, the one we went to high school with?" "Yeah, Joseph Smith." Alarm bells were ringing in Joseph's mind, and his heart started pounding faster and faster. He finally remembered about his accident last night and realized that it was impossible that he came out of it without serious injury. Maybe this was what it was like to be dead, he wondered. He felt like a ghost being able to run through the crowd with ease. Then, he heard a voice whisper into one of his ears. "I'm so sorry about yesterday morning, honey. Please wake up." It was none other than Anna's voice, yet when Joseph looked around, she was nowhere to be found. "The doctor said you're unlikely to wake up, but I believe in you." "Doctors? What doctors?" Joseph kept walking around in confusion until it hit him, and he stopped dead in his tracks. He was on the verge of dying in a hospital bed somewhere. He immediately started sprinting as fast as his ghostly legs would take him. He was losing energy quickly, but it was not from having been out of shape due to spending all of his time on work instead of exercise or any other activities. Joseph realized he had to get to the hospital as soon as possible before his body shut down, once and for all. He hitched rides on cars, bicycles, buses, and trains to get to the local hospital faster, but his energy was waning too quickly. All the while, he kept hearing Anna whisper all of her regrets and apologies to him in his ear. By the time he entered the hospital, he could barely walk. Joseph used his remaining strength to check all the hospital rooms until he finally found his. Standing next to his bed, whispering in his ear, was none other than Anna. Joseph fell to his knees, and he could walk no more. He slowly crawled to the bed where an unconscious, soulless Joseph was laying. It took all of his might to pull himself up, and gravity had to do the rest of the work in aligning Joseph's soul with his body. The doctor, with a grim look on his face, put his hand on Anna's shoulder. "Mrs. Smith, I am very sorry to inform you he is approaching his final moments of living." But Joseph's soul refused to allow this to happen. Joseph still had a purpose to fulfill in this world. Anna needed him to help raise their 2 sons. Now that Joseph experienced a journey to the hospital in which he had time to realize how important he was to the people around him, he was determined to make change. He realized his business was already doing extremely well, and he could certainly afford to work a reasonable number of hours per week. His family would be well off regardless. What was important was that he was there for his son and for Anna. Joseph was now ready to return to the world of the living. "Please wake up, Joseph," Anna pleaded. She placed her hand into his externally lifeless one, feeling only its warmth but not the slightest twitch of a muscle. Sparkling tears grew from the water lines of her eyes. Just as she was about to pick up her hand from Joseph's to wipe away her tears, she felt 5 warm fingers curl around hers and pull her hand back.